Detroit, welcome back to the family.
Coming to you live from wherever you are listening to this show. Whether you're in your car, on your computer, at your desk, on your phone, hanging out with your friends, watching us live on YouTube, or listening to your podcast, it's the Revert Radio Show, broadcasting from the studios of 1440 AM WMKM Detroit with your host, Abdullah.
Bismillah, alhamdulillah, salatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. Start a show, as we usually do, by the name of Allah, the Most High, the Most Merciful, the especially merciful. We thank you for joining us today. Thank you for being a part of the show. We thank you for all the support that you have for us. Jazakumullah khair. Wa barakallahu feekum. May Allah reward you with the best. Today's topic is a very famous topic that people are experiencing and talking about all over. You definitely hear it. You'll definitely see something about it, which is the virus that's been spread out mostly in China right now, which is very difficult for people who's over there. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to keep everybody safe and secure about this. You know, keep your mask on, keep your health checked and all that stuff. You don't want to be a part of the spread of the disease, and you don't want to be affected by the disease as well. It did actually hit some parts of this country right here in the United States. There are some investigation going on to check if there's more closer to you. Just be very careful. So first of all, let's talk about what the actual disease is. This virus is a contagious virus that has hit people before a long time ago, and the problem is that it spreads so quick and it's very harmful to you. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to keep it away from me and you and all the loved ones that we have in our lives, all of you, all of us together. So what does this virus do? Corona, so don't get it mixed up. Coronavirus is a kind of common virus that causes an infection in your nose, in your sinuses, and your upper throat. Often, coronavirus causes upper respiratory infection symptoms like a stuffy nose and cough and sore throat and stuff like that. So if you have any of that stuff, go get yourself checked. Go to the nearest doctor, go to your primary doctor, check yourself out just to be sure, just to be on the safe side. You don't want to be risking it. You do not want to be risking it because, again, this is a contagious virus that might affect you, might affect the people around you. It might be the reason for somebody's death. You don't want that on your hands. You don't want that to be a reason, for somebody to pass away, God forbid, because of, you neglecting to check yourself out or, thinking that, oh, it's not a big deal. I'll be all right, or they'll be all right, or whatever. You know what I mean? So go check yourself, get yourself checked out, and if there's any precautions or preventative things that you could take and do, then go ahead and do it because this is very dangerous. Now, as we mentioned, that there are always resources online that you can go to and check and see what it is that you have to do to be careful and stay away from viruses like this. You go to a website called cdc.gov, and it's a government website, so we trust the information that is provided there. We go there, we check it out, we see what they they recommend for us to do, so that way we don't spread the disease and we don't get the disease. All right, so it's a virus and it could hit anybody. Be very careful. It doesn't matter how strong your immune system is or how tough you are, whatever. You never know. Everybody can be affected. Now, as a Muslim, I always say that Allah the Most High has something said about every aspect in this life. Everything that happens in our lives has been touched by the Quran and by the Prophet Muhammad's teachings, peace be upon him. Now, of course, Allah the Most High says, أطيعوا الله وأطيعوا الرسول. Obey Allah and obey the Prophet together. All right, those two, Allah and the Prophet Muhammad, they are to us as Muslims, as reverts, our source of knowledge and information about Islam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But the main source is Allah, the Most High. But He had a revelation to a messenger. And this revelation came to this messenger, peace be upon him, in two parts. One of them was the Quran, and the other was the teachings of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Those two together are the revelation. They're two in one, or one that is divided into two parts. One of them is the Quran, is the actual words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Most High, the Exalted. And the other revelation, which is second part of the revelation, is the hadith or the teachings of the Prophet, peace be upon him. And Allah the Most High says in the Quran about the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, وَلَا يَنْطِقُ عَنِ الْهَوَى. لَا يَنْطِقُ عَنِ الْهَوَى means he does not speak from his own interests or his own desires or his own intellect. He speaks, Allah says, continues the ayah and says, إِنْ هُوَ إِلَّا وَحْيٌ يُوحَى. He is not but a person who is receiving a revelation from Allah. All his words are revelation. All his words are revelation, specifically words that has to do with the deen, with the religion. This is very important for us to understand. We can't be picking and choosing and saying, you know what, I'm gonna just use what's in the Quran and forget about what's in the hadith. That's a no-no. You cannot do that. You take the Quran and you take what's in the hadith, both together as one. This is very important because Allah the Most High knows that we're people. We are humans. So He sent us a human as a messenger to take this revelation and hear the words of Allah and hear the words of the human, but the human has been given a revelation from Allah the Most High. So enough talking about that, and let's go now to what the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said in this hadith. This hadith has been narrated by Aisha radiallahu anha, the wife of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. And this is from the book of Bukhari, book number 1 or volume number 1, hadith number 33. Allah's messenger says when Aisha, his wife, asked him about at-ta'un. And what's at-ta'un? At-ta'un is basically a disease, a sickness that attacks a nation or a village or a city or a group of people. Just gets this virus and it starts spreading throughout this group of people. Now, there are issues about these viruses. The viruses can be found in the air. You know, you can breathe it. You can touch something and it will get to you. You can maybe eat something, it will get to you. So when the wife of the Prophet, peace be upon him, asked this question and said, what about this ta'un thing that you talked about? Because there are stories about the ta'un or this disease that attacked nations before and it destroyed the entire nation. So the Prophet, peace be upon him, said it was a punishment that Allah the Most High used to send on different people and specific people who used to do a lot of harm and used to be transgressors or used to be fornicators or used to be killers or something. People who had a whole lot of crazy issues and crazy sins in the nation. Allah used to send something like this, and this is one of the weapons of Allah. used to send it to this specific group of people to punish them, and maybe punishing them took a little bit of sickness and stuff like that, and Allah took their lives. But then Allah, the Most High, used it in a different way. It's a beautiful way. Allah, the Most High, used it as mercy upon the believers. Now you probably say, hold on, it's a disease. How is it a mercy upon people? What happens? So the Prophet, peace be upon him, continued and said, فَلَيْسَ مِنْ عَبْدٍ يقع في الطاعون فيمكث في بلده صابرا محتسبا يعلم أنه لا يصيبه إلا ما كتب الله له إلا كان له مثل أجر الشهيد. This is big. So when he said that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala then made it as a mercy upon the believers. He said, there's no abd, there's no servant of Allah that may be affected by this disease, whether he got it or he got it in his city, in his hometown, and he stays in that town with patience and seeking the ajr, seeking the reward from Allah for being patient and being humble and abiding by Allah's rules, by not going outside of the city, so you don't spread this disease. And this is something that we're going to talk about in a second. Then Allah will give him the reward of a martyr. The reward of a martyr who was in a big battle and he was fighting for the sake of Allah, for, of course, under the specific rules and regulations of what a battle is and what a murder is. Not anybody that just goes and kills people and gets killed for whatever reason, not following, of course, the teachings of what this indicates. Then this person will get the reward of this martyr. All right. So the shaheed has to do so many things to get that reward. But in this case, a person who is in a place where there is a ta'un, or there is a disease such as a coronavirus or something similar to that, and he stays in there patiently waiting for it to hopefully gets taken care of, and the doctor is taking care of the people who were affected by it and stuff like that, and requests and waits for the ajr, or the reward from Allah the Most High, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Most High, will write him as much of a reward as he would give a martyr. All right. So that's the part of the hadith that Allah's messenger given to those people who got affected by this disease, which is unfortunate, but it's happening. And we ask Allah the Most High to keep it away from us and to keep us away from it. And if it affected us, then there's manuals to this, and Allah the Most High didn't leave that alone, and He told us what to do. So we'll get into that right as soon as we hear a couple of words from our sponsor, and we'll be right back.
Do you know what time it is? It's time to get that refund check you've been waiting for all year long. But one thing's for sure, you want to make sure your taxes are done by the experts. That's why I do my taxes with Expert Accounting and Tax Services. Expert Accounting is dedicated to providing clients with professional, personalized services and guidance. You can rest assured that their services are of the highest quality and that you will receive expert personal attention. Call Expert Accounting now at 313-581-8210. That's 313-581-8210 to schedule your free tax analysis appointment. As a professional Michigan firm, they'll find the mistakes and missed opportunities that may be costing you thousands in taxes and get you the most on your refund check. Call them now, 313-581-8210.
All right, we're back. So the thing that we want to discuss real quick if you're just joining us right here on 1440 AM WMKM. This is the Revert radio show. We discuss so many things that has to do with being a revert or being a human being here on earth. All humans could be a revert. Now, we're talking about coronavirus. And again, what is coronavirus? It's a disease that causes an infection in your nose, sinuses, upper throat, and it may cause respiratory infection. You might get the symptoms of stuffy nose or cough or sore throat or something like that. So if you happen to have any of that stuff, please be careful. Check yourself, check your doctors, tell them, yo, check me out, see if there's anything that I need to be careful, cautious about. One other thing is that the group can cause diseases in animals and birds as well. So they can be carried by animals and birds. So you guys have to be very careful. If you're around dogs, you're around so whatever pets you have, whatever birds that might be coming in and out, you got to be careful. They might be affecting us. All right. So I ask Allah, the Most High, the Exalted, to keep us safe and to keep viruses and diseases like this away from us and keep us away from them. Now we talked and mentioned that the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, mentioned that this disease has been going on throughout the history of this earth. And one of the things that we want to make sure that we remember, that Allah the Most High used to send it upon people as a punishment. And then Allah made it as a mercy upon the believers. Now you ask how this can become mercy upon believers. Believers can be patient when this happens to them and seek the reward for what's happening to them from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and say, you know what, I'm going to be patient. What happens is happening for a reason. Allah chose this for me. I'm going to be patient. I'm going to chill. I'm going to hang tight right here and not go and spread this disease, and take whatever precautions and whatever medicine I got to take to get rid of this disease. Allah the Most High will give you the reward of a martyr if you stay patient with this. There's also a directional hadith that has been sent to us. There's directions. If this happens to us, what do we do? Do you think that the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, has anything about this? Yes, of course. As we mentioned, the hadith and the Quran together never left off anything that happens to us in this earth, in this life, except that they talk about it, they spoke about it, they gave us directions regarding it. So Usama bin Zayd radiallahu anh, may Allah be pleased with him, said that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, if you ever hear of a ta'un attacking a land or a country or a city or a village, then do not go there. If you heard, just like now, you hear that there is coronavirus in China, and specifically in a city called what's the city called? Wuhan, in a Hubei province in China. So you're in the U.S. and you hear that there's this disease in China, and you have to go to China for some business work or whatever. Change plans. Change your plans. Don't go there. If you believe that the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, speaks the truth and gives you directions for this life, don't go there. And wait till you hear some good news about that area over there, that they control it and that they're taking care of it. Then you can go over there. I mean, if you're in China, maybe in a different city or whatever, and you got to go to that city specifically, don't go there. Change your plans. Wait for a little bit until they control the disease, and then you can go there. Now, if it happens, while you in that city, do not leave. Do not leave that city. Now, subhanAllah, as we mentioned that the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, has been sent as a mercy for all human beings. He was sent for all human beings, everybody that was living on the time of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, until the end of times. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was sent to you, everybody. And he's been sent with the mercy to everybody. So he says that if you hear of the disease in a different city other than the city that you're living in, and you plan on going over there, change your mind, change your plans, don't go there. And if it happens in a city that you're living in, God forbid you're out there in Wuhan, and this happens, you are not allowed to leave that. You're not allowed to, Islamically, you're not allowed to leave that city. Why? Because that disease will spread if you leave that city. You will be a reason for the spread of the disease. And Allah, the Most High, doesn't want you to spread that disease. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, does not want you to spread the disease, because you will affect other people. You will harm other people. There's no harming. There shouldn't be harming in Islam. You shouldn't be thinking about harming. Just because you want to survive, you can harm others. No, you stay in your place. You do whatever it is that you can do to protect yourself, but at least you're not harming others. And then once they control it, then you can step out and you can leave. So there are precautions and preventative steps that we need to take when we hear about things like this. You know, Islam is not just about being in the mosque and praying all day, 5 times a day, 10 times a day, 20 times a day, 40 times a day, whatever it is that you want to pray, you know, other than the obligatory prayers, of course, which is 5. But we're talking about just praying all day or whatever. It's about praying and worshiping, of course, but it's also about taking care of business. Taking care of business, taking care of your people around you, taking care of humans, human rights. Taking care of animals' rights. Take care of your women's rights. Taking care of everything rights. You got to take care of everything. You got to be careful. You got to look at everything from every angle. You got to be very careful. And again, there's another hadith that the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, mentioned, and they were talking about some companion who passed away by at-ta'un, by a disease like this, where he was stuck in a city where the disease was spread out all over the city, and he was affected by it, and he passed away. And the Prophet Muhammad said that person or any Muslim that passes away from or because of at-ta'un, because of a disease like this, then he is a shaheed. At-ta'un shahada li kulli Muslim. Shahada li kulli Muslim. And again, this is in Sahih Muslim, in book number 33 and hadith number 239. At-ta'un shahada li kulli Muslim. That ta'un, that death specifically, is martyrdom for every Muslim. All right, so any Muslim who passes away because of at-ta'un or because of viruses or diseases like this, then that person is a martyr by the will of Allah, and he will get that reward of a martyr as if he passed away as a martyr, as a shaheed. So, alhamdulillah, it is mercy. It is mercy upon the Muslims. It is mercy upon the believers, and it could also be a punishment upon those transgressors, those who are doing harm to people and this earth and everything. Now, without calling out any names, we look at history of places that got things like this, and we see that they were disobeying Allah so bad, and they were harming the servants of Allah so bad, and they were being transgressors and doing so many harmful things to people and to this earth and to the servants of Allah, the Most High, and disobeying Allah, with everything that they can think of. And then Allah sends something like this. And this is not the only thing that Allah has. Allah can send so many things. Allah sends this, Allah sends wind, Allah sends rain, Allah sends tsunamis, Allah sends so many things. So we have to be careful. Do not test Allah. Do not test Allah. Do not go against Allah the Most High, because Allah the Most High is the creator of everything. He is the creator of everything. He uses anything the way He wishes to use it, because He created you and me and everybody, and He will use it the way He wills, the way He desires. Again, coronavirus, you can go online, cdc.gov, and search for information about coronavirus, and search information about how to control the disease and what things that you got to do to prevent this from happening to you. You know, we're a community together. We don't want this to hit Detroit. We don't want this to hit Michigan. We don't want this to hit America altogether. But this has already, as we hear, that it already has some signs here in America, but we have to be very careful. So always check with your doctor, check with your local health department, and see what's going on. And don't sleep on it. Do not sleep on it. This is serious. This is dangerous. This is something that we need to be very careful in dealing with. So again, some of the symptoms that this might, this disease might have on a person is infection in your nose, sinuses, some pain in your upper throat. Also, it could also cause some infection symptoms like stuffy nose, cough, sore throat. So be careful. And again, this could be affecting animals, birds, humans. Anybody can carry it. So be careful what you got, what you buy, what you currently have. You know, you don't want it to be affected and then you carry it into your home, and then you take it and carry it outside of the home and spread it all over the place. So be very careful. Be very careful and be cautious, and be thoughtful. If you have to take whatever it is that you have to take to prevent this from happening to you, do it. Make sure you stay clean. Make sure you stay aware of what's happening around you. Again, Allah the Most High used to send this as a punishment upon people, and at the same time, now Allah the Most High sends it as a mercy upon the believers. So I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Most High, to keep us good believers, to keep us on the good track of Allah, what is pleasing to Him. And we ask Him to also give us better opportunity to share good things with everybody who's listening to us and who's following us. This is the Revert radio show, brought to you every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday at 12 noon Detroit time, and we end at 12:30. We are live on 1440 AM, and we are live on our channel, the Revert YouTube channel. We also got a Facebook page, which is the Revert Show. Please like us and share and subscribe to all our platforms on the social media. We appreciate that. We thank you so much for being a part of this. We thank you so much for your support. We thank our sponsors for their support. And we'll see you back here, inshallah, tomorrow. Peace. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.